And if you are new, if you're brand new to Student of the Gun, congratulations on your excellent decision-making skills. Yes, indeed. Congratulations to you on making a good decision today. So you can go forward with your day, realizing and understanding that you made at least one good decision today. And that's a positive thing. That's the power of positive thinking. Isn't that right, Jared?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. How's Jared's voice? We didn't check Jared's microphone before we went live.
Per usual, he needs to speak up a little bit.
Well, okay, I can control it.
I'm going to say, oh, wow, I'm a lot louder now.
Yeah, you know why? Because I just worked the slider. Look at me being a studio engineer. All right, so we got all three of us together today, and we are going to talk about, let's see, we're going to talk about Grandmaster J, the firearms expert. Firearms expert Grandmaster J is being persecuted, and you need to understand this. You need to know about this. We've got a Warrior of the Week question for you about cold weather / winter training. And, well, that and anything else we feel like talking about on today's episode of Student of the Gun Radio.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Zach, when we were talking off the air and you referred to me as a good DM, and I said Dungeon Master, and you said yes, because you were listening to a podcast.
Yeah, where they were talking about playing Dungeons and Dragons and about how a good Dungeon Master will apparently just straight up lie to the players if they need to.
Well, and you said, oh, the Dungeon Master rolls the dice in secret. And I said, no, he doesn't, because a bunch of 15-year-olds will call bull crap on that. And I said, what you need to be a good Dungeon Master back in the olden days, I don't know about now, but you had to be creative. You had to be a creative person. And I said there were two ways of doing it, two ways of hosting a game. You could use pre-made modules, right? Or you could use freeform modules where you actually sat down with graph paper and a notebook and you just made everything up, right? And I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and look up D&D modules. And I found on Amazon Into the Borderlands, a pre-made module from Dungeons and Dragons. I had this. I owned that in probably around 1980. I think it was probably around 1980 that I went to Comic Kingdom / Hobby Kingdom on Gratiot Avenue in Detroit, Michigan. I think it was Gratiot and, it wasn't Shaner. I can't remember. It was Gratiot and 6 Mile. I think it was near Gratiot and 6.
Not 8 Mile, where the real G's hang out?
Kingdom / Comic Kingdom. And I bought that. And that's where, you know how 10, 15 years ago, you guys used to go into, is the Blockbuster. You used to go either into Blockbuster or your favorite local video store, right? Mm-hmm. And you and your wife, and you're like, hey, let's get a movie this weekend. It's the weekend, it's Friday. Let's go get a movie. Okay. So you go there and you're going to get one movie, right? So you walk around and you look, and then you make a complete lap, and then you walk around and you look again, and you still have made a decision. That's the way I was when I had $2.87 in my pocket, or $1.99. I would go to Hobby Kingdom, and they had little lead figurines for D&D, right? They're plain. You had to paint them yourself. And there was a glass case and a little plastic shelf, and they would line them up, and they would put a number in front of them. And so you say, I want number 16, and that's the gray elf, or, the orc or whatever. And that's what I would do when I was 12, 13. I would go in there, and I knew I had $1.98 in my pocket, man. And I was like, okay, which one do I want? Which one do I want? I can only afford one. Which one do I want? Which one do I want? And of course, the guy there was super patient with me. He's like, Take your time.
Yeah.
Figure out which one you want. 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid. But the man, that
Give me
was
one of those 20-sided die. I'm going to roll a number.
yeah,
That's
that was
one I'll pick.
that was I tell you what, man. That was a big deal. And when I bought the game, I can't even remember what the game cost back then. The basic game where you got the dice. I think you got into the Borderlands, if my memory serves, and this is 40 years ago. I think that was the first basic module that you got. So yeah, I had that. And then after I did that, I would and I took a piece of plywood and some scrap wood and paint and a marker, and I created my own little dungeon scene so you move little figures around, and I would paint them and all that. So
All the fun stuff.
all the fun stuff.
You
Back
know
in the
what?
old days when you used to, in order to, part of playing was having an imagination.
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
imagination.
Having an imagination.
You know what 12-year-old you would have loved but not been able to afford? Do you know this website heroforge.com?
Never heard of it.
Basically, it's this website where you can go in and use their little builder and make your own little dudes.
Oh, you can create your
Yeah.
own little characters.
Yeah. Remember that thing we were going to do for a while?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I got those from.
We did that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That thing we were going to do, but didn't end up happening.
Yeah. Those are here, by the way.
Oh, you have all of them?
Those little figures are
Yeah.
here.
All right. Well, very cool.
They're in the gun shop. So, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into. We have a word of the week question for you guys, and if you're watching live, feel free to throw questions into the live comments, into the live stream comments. We're on Discord. We're on Facebook. Are we on YouTube?
We are currently on YouTube, yes,
For what it's worth.
for what it's worth.
For what it's worth. All right. So, Zach, play me in, Jack.
Crap. One
Well,
second.
while he's figuring that out, the question today is from QAnon.
QAnon.
QAnon. And if you want to be the word of the week, you can call 844-207-7684. Ask a clear and concise question. And if we choose it and you hear your name or your question here on the radio, then you just email info@studentofthegun.com. Send us your name, mailing address, your phone number, and your email typed into the body. And the email address, info@studentofthegun.com, is available to all of you. If you're listening right now and you have a question, and you would like to send questions in, send them to info@studentofthegun.com. We will get them and read them, maybe answer them. If they pertain to a big enough audience, we will likely answer them here on the show.
There you go. Yeah, brothers and sisters. No, that's next. That's the next topic. I feel like we should have a Grandmaster J theme song from Flava Flav from Public Enemy. Maybe we get Flavo Flav to do a Grandmaster. Flava Flav would probably be ashamed of Grandmaster J, and he would not acknowledge him. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? What is the questione? All right. Please read the question.
From QAnon, it says, what do I need for cold weather or winter training?
What do you need for cold weather or winter training? And you say, Paul, duh. Everybody already knows this because everybody already understands. No, they don't. A lot of folk have spent their whole lives south of the Mason-Dixon line or in the Southwest where it gets cold and snows one time per year. And then they go sacrifice a calf up on a rock and the snow goes away and they pray to the sun god again, like Tempe. But for those of you that may be coming to Wyoming this winter to do training, there's 3 things that you need to take good care of on your body: your feet, your hands, your head. If your feet are cold, doesn't matter how warm your jacket is, you're going to be miserable. You got a super triple fat. What were those things that were popular about 20 years ago? Triple fat goose or something like that. Coats.
The Fat Farm.
Yeah, not Fat Farm. It was before Fat Farm. It was
I don't know.
like double fat goose or triple fat goose or something. It's the one that youths in Chicago and Detroit were killing each other over.
Not Patagonia.
No. It was like a fat goose.
I have no idea.
Like triple fat or double fat. So you have one of these super awesome G.I. Joe parkas, and your feet are cold and wet, and you're just hosed because you're gonna be boned. Your hands. If your hands get cold, they're not going to operate very well, are they? The answer is no, they're not. And obviously, it should be obvious, but your noggin, your head, you've got to keep your head warm. If you can keep your feet warm and dry, your hands warm and dry too, and your head warm, you'll be good. I mean,
how do we keep our feet warm and dry?
Well, we keep our feet warm and dry by wearing boots that are. You don't necessarily need Arctic weather Mickey Mouse boots. You know, you G.I. Joes out there, you're like, oh yeah, I remember those, the big giant Arctic weather Mickey Mouse boots. We're not talking about going to Antarctica here. We're just talking about being in a place where it's cold and there's snow on the ground. So you need waterproof boots that are warm.
And if you couple those with wool socks, then you're good to go.
Yes. Wool socks, not cotton socks. Cotton socks are a no-go
because they absorb water.
Because they absorb water.
Wool does not. It wicks water.
Yeah, it wicks it away. So, yeah, wool socks or a wool blend sock and waterproof boots. Now, they don't need to necessarily be rubber, and you actually don't want solid rubber boots because if they're 100% rubber, then your feet are going to sweat like crazy. The boots that we wear are Irish setter boots from Red Wing are fantastic.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're water resistant. They're warm. We've worn them in mud and rain and snow. Jared, you hiked miles in the snow.
Yes.
And your feet never got wet or cold.
Didn't have any issues.
Yeah. So, and they have obviously good ankle support and so forth. As far as hats, whatever, man, whatever your pleasure is. A toboggan.
What do you like? The fleece is your favorite? Putting a fleece hat on there?
Well, here's the deal. If you're going to have to wear, right, for instance, if you're going to come to training and you're going to wear a bump guard or a helmet, you're not going to be able to, if you have a thick winter hat, you're not going to be able to squeeze it down over a thick winter hat. But if you get one of these fleece caps, these fleece watch caps, like the ones from 511 or the ones that Blackhawk used to make, those work really well. They're thin and warm, and you could put them a helmet. That was the problem I had when I was in the Marine Corps originally. Is they issued us these black wool watch caps that they'd been issuing to the military for 50 years, and they were super great and they were warm. But we'd go to do field maneuvers and exercises, and we had to wear our helmets. And some people would try and squish their helmet down over the top of it, and it wouldn't sit right, and it was an abortion basically.
But there's these I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're thin, like a kind of like the material, the tight pants that like football players wear.
Lycra?
I don't remember what it's called, but it's that same material that you can put on your head. It's thin enough to fit under a helmet, but it keeps you warm, and it's not too warm.
Now, if you have something like a balaclava, a pullover head hood, not a thin nylon one, but one of the flash resistant, fire resistant ones, those can work too. But you definitely want something warm to keep your head warm. If you want to wear a fur hat, then wear a fur hat. If you want to wear a wool cap, wear a wool cap. And the other thing, as far as gloves, people say, well, what about gloves? Mechanics Gloves makes winter gloves. I looked that up the other day when someone mentioned it. What I use and what I've been using since I've been living in the mountains, I have 2 layers of gloves. I have a thin layer of gloves that provide pretty good dexterity, but I found if it gets down into like 20s or something, then they don't keep me warm anymore. So then I switch over to ski gloves. Now, some ski gloves have big fat R-tard fingers, right? They have this squared off fingertips. You guys have seen those, and you're like, oh. But there are ski gloves that actually have well-made, well-designed fingers and thumbs and allow you to have enough dexterity to do what it is you need to do, to operate safety levers and all that good stuff. So it's good to have your hands warm, but at the same time, if you're at a training school and you need to operate a firearm, you need to have some dexterity.
That's okay. You just cut the finger off.
Yeah, I just cut the fingers off. Yeah, that's what you do. Because
they do have gloves.
It's okay if your finger freezes.
Yeah, so they do have gloves with removable fingers,
Mm.
and I actually use those. I tested them out one time because you can flip the finger off when you need to pull the trigger, but it's another step, another thing that you have to remember to do.
You know what that is?
It's better just to have the gloves that fit your hands well and give you the dexterity that you need.
Just wear good gloves and learn how and practice with them. Yeah, that stuff about like, oh, I just pull my one finger out.
If you're hunting in a blind, then that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But the truth of the matter is, people who say you can't shoot with gloves on they don't train.
Gloves, yeah.
They don't train. They don't train. So
you don't want to run an AK in the cold with no gloves on. I'll tell you that.
You don't want to run an AK in the hot with no gloves on.
Definitely not the cold.
Well, I've still got scars in the back of my hands and stuff from being dumb and not doing that. So, there are several types of ski gloves out there that are available that have well-made fingers, and of course they have the cuffs that go up in your sleeves and all that good jazz. So, or you can just go to mechanics and you can buy mechanics winter gloves and so forth. And then the last thing I will tell you is, well, there's two last things. Make sure that you bring, if you're going to a winter class where there's potentially going to be snow, you have to bring tinted glasses of some sort, wraparound tinted safety glasses, some type, because snow blindness is a very real thing. Like, for instance, right outside right now here, there's not that much snow on the ground, but it's bright and sunny and there's no clouds in the sky, and your eyes you'll snow blind out fast. That is a very real thing. So make sure that you do have tinted glasses, some type of sunglasses or tinted glasses or whatever to protect your eyes from the bright sun. And then layers. Layers are your friends. The triple fat goose or the Fat Farm coat is awesome when it's early in the morning and the sun isn't up yet and it's cold and chilly. And then at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, it gets up to 30 degrees or it gets up to 28 degrees. And that thing's way too hot now. And if you're just wearing a t-shirt underneath it, you're kind of screwed. So the best thing to do is to have fleece layers and a wind cutting or a windproof shell of some sort, a jacket to wear over the top of that so that you can go up and down throughout the day. And then, of course, when the sun goes down, the other thing is like, oh, man, it's not that bad. It's 28 degrees. There's no wind. I'll just wear my basic fleece and I'm good. And then the sun goes down and boom, you lose 20 degrees of temperature and now you're freezing. So
what were those things called that we wore on the porch with whiskey? And
capotes.
Yeah, the capotes.
All right, listen up. This is my call to my student of the gun audience. It is a wool wrap. It's a hunter's. Typically they're called a hunter's capote, right? A thick wool hunter's capote with a hood, a fur-lined hood. If any of you guys out there have a line on any of these, you know anybody who makes them, you make them, whatever, and you say, Paul, just go to the internet. Everything I found on the internet is either cosplay for women,
it's not real,
or it's thin. I'm talking about real, no kidding wool with a fur hood that I can go and sit in a chair outside when it's 10 degrees and the snow's falling and I'll be comfortable. And I know where there's 4 of them. and I'm pretty sure Drake ain't giving them up.
Yep.
Yeah, I know where there's 4 good ones, and I would say that they're basically unobtainium. I don't imagine. I guess every man has a price, but I imagine that he would want, because they're irreplaceable. Those things are irreplaceable. But hey, you guys out there, how many of you guys out there are entrepreneurs? And you're like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always looking for a good idea. Yeah, I tell you what, you come up with a good, like, wool, a gray wool capote, hunter's capote. It's CAPO, like Truman Capote. Come up with those, and we will, if it's good, we will sing your praises until the cows come home. It's kind of like a tactical kilt. Lots of people have tried them over the years. Few have succeeded. Many have failed. I wear my kilt all the time, and people say, "Where did you get that?" And I say, "Well, I could tell you, but that company's out of business now, so it won't really do you any good." All right, let's move on. So, layers, good boots that are waterproof or water resistant, good gloves, and a good hat. Oh, and don't forget the sunglasses. Don't forget the glasses to guard your eyes from the snow blindness. All right. Zach, did you want to talk to the audience real quick?
Yes, indeed, I did. I just wanted to. Oh, one second. Sorry, I had to clear my throat real quick. I just wanted to give a quick update and say that if you ordered something over Black Friday weekend, it has been sent out. I've gotten some inside, and this is just also a PSA. I've gotten some inside knowledge that what they've been saying, if you want to get something before Christmas, is get it ordered before the 14th. And according to my inside sources, it's closer to the 7th. So, and this is coming out on the 7th, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah,
so,
today's the 7th.
Yeah. If you want to order something and have it guaranteed by Christmas, order it today. Is what I've heard. But yeah, no, if you ordered from us over Black Friday weekend, you're good. It has been sent out, and as long as it doesn't get lost in the mail, all good. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you there.
You're welcome.
And Bo knows sports, and Zach knows shipping. All right. Now it's time to remind people. Are we going to still tell them to join the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple different groups that you can join that are public groups. We have one on Facebook. We have one in the Student Lounge, which is a private social media platform, and it's members.studentofthegun.com. It's our membership platform. You can join the Student of the Gun public group for free in that, and you can also join the Discord server for free. That's studentofthegun.com/Discord. So if you're listening to this and you're not in either of those groups, I highly recommend that you get into the Discord and the Student Lounge. Facebook's kind of secondary at this point because who knows what's going to happen with it. But if you are already on Facebook, you can join it there as well.
You know what's going to be interesting when the Senate after these hearings, when they determine that Facebook, Google, and YouTube are operating as a trust, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I guess when I say Google owns YouTube, right?
Yeah, they bought them in 2008.
Okay, so Google owns
Alphabet
YouTube.
Inc. owns YouTube.
Yeah, and then you've got people say, well, how come they're not talking about Instagram? Well, because Facebook owns Instagram. So Facebook doesn't have to talk to Instagram to ask them what they're going to do because they own them. So you have Facebook, Twitter, and Google all conspiring, and they've demonstrated it. The senator demonstrated that they're conspiring to control speech and to control information. So if those of you who lived through the Ma Bell breakup, back in the olden days, there was one phone company, and that was it. And you either went through them or you didn't have a phone. End of story. And at some point in time, the Senate and the government are like, that makes you a trust. That means there's no competition, and people either get a phone from you or they don't get a phone. End of story. And of course, they're like, yeah, so what? So what? And they're like, well, that's not capitalism, and that's not competition, so you can't do that. So, yeah, join the groups, be aware, pay attention, and check out Duracoat.
And
our
also,
good buddy. Life. What's that, Zach?
Parlor and MeWe. We did not mention
Oh,
those.
Parlor and MeWe, Parlor. We need to do something now. Parlor has been increasing. I've noticed since last Monday that the numbers on our official Parlor have increased, which is good. So,
Well, the reach on there is totally, it blows away Facebook and whatnot.
yeah, we have 400 people and 350 people saw the post. That's pretty good, as opposed to having 100,000 people following you and 500 see the post.
Yep.
How's that work? All right. Duracoat, why?
Because life is too short for an ugly gun.
That's right. Life is too short to have an ugly gun. You don't want to have an ugly gun. I don't want to have an ugly gun. And you know what? Can I tell you guys about a dream I had last night?
Go for it.
It's not crazy.
Did you have a dream?
I did. I had a dream. I had a dream that I was at, I don't know where I was. I was in this building, and all of my industry friends were there. Charlie Brown was there, and Steve was there, and Dave Kawaka was there, and so forth. And Steve was sitting next to a woman that I know in the industry. And I was like, hey, Steve. And that's Steve Lauer. And in my mind, I was like, well, we didn't have a SHOT Show, but instead we all decided to come here. Now, there isn't going to be a SHOT Show this year. And to most of you in the audience, it really doesn't matter, and you don't care because, quite frankly, it doesn't matter for this year because nobody's releasing any new product, anything, essentially. Because the point is, why should we spend $100,000? Okay, not true. But most people are not releasing any new products because from a manufacturer standpoint, you say, well, we could spend $100,000 promoting a new product or try and deliver the 9 months worth of back orders on the original products that we still have. So how about we do that instead? So the majority of people have put their new products on hold until potentially next year. But that's okay. What does that have to do with Duracoat? Well, you got a gun, you got a knife, you got I don't know, you name it, man. Look around. What do you have that has a crappy finish on it?
I have a squat rack that I need to refinish.
There you go, squat rack, whatever.
Slightly darker black squat rack.
Yeah. So check those guys out at Duracoat Firearm Finishes. They have everything you need to make your gun not ugly anymore. All right, our buddies at Crossbreed Holsters want you to be dangerous on demand. How do you do that? You actually carry your gun. I know. You're like, what? That's a crazy concept. They make dedicated holsters. They make the holster for the gun, not one size fits nothing. All right. And if you're a new gun owner and you were at the gun shop and the guy's like, you said, hey, well, I need a holster for this gun I'm just buying from you. And he said, oh, go over there to the rack. Over those shelves over there. There's holsters. And you picked one up and he said, oh, yeah, that'll fit the blank and the blank and the blank and the blank and the blank. So it'll fit your gun. What you have is a dust cover. That's what you bought. If you bought one of these stitched nylon monstrosities that fits 27 different styles of guns, what you purchased was a dust cover, not a holster. So if you want a good holster that's actually going to secure your gun to your body all the time, I want you to use the promotional code SOTG18. When you shop at Crossbreed Holsters, you're going to get a good holster. You're going to get a bargain. You're going to get a deal, and you're going to be a happy camper. There you go. All right. Last but certainly not least in the hit parade of fan favorites, our buddies at Brownells. They have everything that you need to go in, on, and around a gun with one asterisk. That is, unless everyone else on planet Earth is trying to buy one of those at this point in time.
I was talking to one of our friends while I was on the trip, and he said that he got a text message that ammo was in stock at one of these companies.
Uh-huh.
He went from the text message to the site and to buy it. He said it was about a 45-second delay, and it was gone.
Nice try. Yeah, you remember the Maymays back in the Obama administration with the little girl with the giant headphones sitting by a computer screaming, Dad,
yeah,
they've got ammo in stock.
Yep.
That times 100. That times 100. Now, what Brownells will do, though, if you're on their mailing list, if you're on their newsletter list, when they do get things in stock, they will send you an email that says, attention, fan, this is in stock. And if you go to something that's out of stock, generally there is a button that says notify me, and you will be notified. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. That is the world in which we live today. But they're good people at Brownells, and they do have a lot of stuff in stock. Beside, you're like, ammo. Okay, well, come up with something else. They got magazines. They have parts. They have upper receivers, lower receivers. They got all kinds of stuff. They're just short on ammo because everyone in the United States of America is short on ammo. Now, guys, it's time for Zach to talk, but Zach is or is this Alex talking? Which day is today? Today's Monday. Okay, so Alex is going to talk to you, and then we're gonna let you know where you can find some ammo.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right, this is something you're not going to be surprised by. There is an entire Reddit thread entitled "My XR-15 Shorty Bullpup Rifle."
No.
Yes, there is.
That's a long name for a subreddit.
What's that?
That's a long name for a subreddit.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, Zach, pay attention to this. Zach is going to play a piece of audio for you guys. You may remember a gentleman named he's titled himself, he hath dubbed himself Grandmaster J. I don't know if he's a DJ or an MC. We'll have to find out. But he became internet famous after his group of clowns had an ND. One of his group of clowns had an ND and shot 3 people at a rally they were holding, and he took it personally. Grandmaster J took it personally. He was mad because people dared to say that his folk were reckless and negligent. And so what he did for us, because he cares about us, if nothing else, Grandmaster J cares about the American people. He did a Facebook Live. And he explained to the ignorant masses, because he is a firearms expert, that his people did not have an accidental or a negligent discharge. He actually explained to us that, well, it's not an AR-15. It's a different kind of gun, but it kind of looks like an AR-15. That they go off by themselves all the time. And to bolster this, he gave us a demonstration live on Facebook. So Zach is going to play just a quick little thing to remind you guys about firearms expert Grandmaster J. And he's going to explain to you that black rifles go off by themselves all the time.
This is an XR-15 Shorty. We call it a bullpup because this bitch got kicked to it. This bitch will knock you the fuck down. The interesting thing about this weapon is if I pull back the bolt, see that? See the bolt? There's no bullet in there. Pay very close attention.
Ain't no bullet in there.
If I'm not paying attention and I take this weapon and I bang it, look what just happened. The bolt goes forward. The weapon has fired.
What?
the weapon has fired.
Hold on, let me try.
Oh, all right, go ahead, pull it down.
What's gonna happen?
So we've had a lot of fun with this.
That's
We've
fun.
had a lot of fun with this. So firearms expert Grandmaster J, Zach, you can go ahead and bring it back to me now.
It is back to
Firearms
you.
expert Grandmaster J explained that what you used to think was an AR-15A2 is actually an XR-15 shorty bullpup. And let me tell you what, brother,
It got some kick.
it's got some kick. It will knock you the F down. How do you shoot it then?
You don't.
So you don't even shoot it.
No, it shoots itself.
It shoots itself. And that when the bolt goes forward on an XR-15 shorty bullpup, the gun fires. See, you weren't aware because you are ignorant and you're not as smart as Grandmaster J. You weren't aware of the fact that every time the bolt goes forward on an AR-15, the gun discharges. It fires. Now, here's the crazy thing. You guys are all out there and you're cringing. You're just like rubbing your eyes. You're like, oh, thank you for making me see the stupidest thing that I've seen this year. Thank you, Paul. I can't get the stupid out of my mind now. I'm going to have to drink bleach to get the stupid out of my mind. But when I first saw this, when Grandmaster J posted this on his Grandmaster J Facebook account, I saw it on his account, and there were supporters
Jeez.
and people who were endorsing him, and they're like, yeah, any mother blanca who says otherwise don't know mother nothing about no mother gun bullpup AR-15 XM shorty. And people were like, yeah, preach it, brother. And I'm over here like, what?
I read a couple comments on that, and it's like, I have to turn this off.
How does Grandmaster J load his rifle if every time the bolt goes forward, the gun fires? How does he ever load it? How does he chamber around? And then Zach said, he doesn't, duh. The bolt stays back in the locked position. So apparently what you guys didn't know, because you're dumb and you're not as smart as Grandmaster J, is the AR-15 was designed to be an open bolt. What? It's like a Sten gun or an Uzi or a Sterling. You cock it back, or an M60, you cock it back, and the bolt's open. And then when you want to fire it, you just bang it against the sidewalk. Or a table, and it fires.
I just want to make sure that everybody that's listening knows that Grandmaster J is not the same thing as Jam Master J.
It's not the same. Jam Master J, TM.
Yep.
That's right. So let's go to the main story of the day. We've got a story here, and this has been reported all over, but I thought I would use this one from bigleaguepolitics.com. December 3rd, 2020. Someone said, oh, this story's old. I said, well, it might be old, but it was reported on December 3rd. So, Jared, will you take it over there? The Not Farting Around Coalition,
Yep.
their Grandmaster.
Yeah, Grandmaster J charged with brandishing guns at police officers.
Uh-oh.
Says the leader of the Not Effing Around Coalition. It says Black Nationalist Militia was federally charged with brandishing a rifle at police officers in September. Grandmaster J, real name John Fitzgerald Johnson.
It's JFJ.
JFJ, not JFK.
That's right, JFJ.
He had been present at the Breonna Taylor protest in Louisville, and it's alleged he pointed an AR-style rifle at police officers present within the Jefferson County Courthouse.
Well, I hope it doesn't say AR-style rifle on the charges, because that's an XR-15 bullpup.
Yeah, because it kicks like a bull.
It kick. Oh man, it's got some kick.
Grandmaster J is being charged with assaulting, resisting, and impeding certain officers of employees in federal court for the Western District of Kentucky. The NFAC militia he leads attained notoriety for a series of confrontational and heavily armed protest marches targeting law enforcement. Jay has spoken openly of his support for black secession from the United States, advocating that his followers form a new black nation.
There already is one. It's called Liberia. Check it out.
Yeah, because that's how you make people come together.
Check it out.
Armed NFAC demonstrators have been responsible for negligent discharge incidents at 2 rallies in Louisville and Lafayette, Louisiana, in the first of which 2 NFAC members were shot. The repeated incidences of poor gun safety practices have led some to style the armed intimidation group that not freaking or aiming coalition. There we go. Not freaking aiming coalition. However, documents detailing criminal charges against Johnson suggest the group might be a danger to more than themselves. An affidavit filled out by the FBI agents reveals Grandmaster Jay had openly threatened to kill anyone affiliated with NFAC who informed on the group's activity to law enforcement. So if you're part of NFAC and you see some chicanery going on, you don't agree with it, you make law enforcement aware of that, then he's going to
kill you. Yep.
In May of 2020, Jay had instructed NFAC followers to kill personnel of Minneapolis Police Department in the wake of George Floyd's death.
Mm-hmm.
FBI alleges that Grandmaster Jay is pictured pointing an AR-style rifle at police officers deployed to Jefferson County Courthouse in Louisville during the NFAC armed march in Louisville on September 9th.
All right.
The affidavit reveals new information about the militia leader's criminal history.
You mean he's not an angel?
Grandmaster Jay has been arrested and charged with several crimes throughout his life, and most curiously was discharged from the military under other than honorable conditions 2 times.
2 times?
The FBI is currently investigating. So if you get discharged other than honorable, you can join the military again.
I don't know how. I mean, they've got a lot of weird waivers, but
okay.
And other than honorable,
I mean, I don't know the details.
Yeah, that's
doesn't sound correct. The FBI is currently investigating how he was able to re-enlist into the military with such a discharge, which is highly unusual. Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah,
I would just read one more sentence before I asked the dang thing.
Yeah.
Johnson was arrested in 1995 for assault and threatening a man with a gun. He was charged. I wonder if it was a bullpup. He was charged with threatening to kill his wife in 2003 when she returned from a military deployment to Kuwait. He was charged with being absent without leave from the Army in 2006 and his second enlistment that ended with the OTH discharge. To kill his wife in 2000 when she returned from a military. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where the first OTH was.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Jay has demonstrated an extremely
specious knowledge.
Oh, it did. I thought.
Yep. Extremely specious knowledge of firearms during live streams.
Yeah.
Claiming the AR-15 would fire if the bolt ever closed on a loaded chamber and calling it a bullpup. So this guy, all right, does it make you proud, ladies and gentlemen, all of you U.S. Army veterans, does it make you proud knowing that Grandmaster Jay was part of your coalition? He must have learned a lot when he was there. We didn't. If you guys want to watch the entire Grandmaster Jay diatribe, it's like 12 or 15 minutes long. One of the things that he claims is that every day in the Army, soldiers get their heads blown off.
Every day.
Every day. And apparently the Army doesn't have a problem with that. And they're like, yeah, whatever. What's one soldier? And the manufacturers of the M16 have no problem with that. They're like, well, every day, just one. This one soldier got his head blown off today because the bolt went forward. So Grandmaster Jay, we don't know if he's an MC. There's one more charge that they added on there that they didn't put in the story. The charge of aggravated stupidity. You see, when I was an active police officer, we all all of us together believed that in the Ohio Revised Code there should have been a statute called aggravated stupidity, and it should have been a first-degree misdemeanor.
That entire last sentence was so.
Okay. Ready, set, go.
Well, just let me
I'll
write
pick
down
up.
the time.
We're almost done.
I just
What time we got?
because that was literally unlegible. 45:23.
Okay.
All right.
Count us in.
All right. Go ahead and continue in 3, 2.
I was just looking through this story, and there was almost everything it said that he was charged for these things, but I don't know if was he ever convicted, or because the one, it says he was arrested in 1995 for assault and threatening a man with a gun, but it doesn't have any follow up on that. I mean, this stuff has to have follow up, right?
Right. I mean, I'm sure that
he was
somewhere
charged
it's
with
there.
threatening to kill his wife in 2003. And he was charged for being absent without leave in the Army in 2006. That was his second OTH. It doesn't say anything about the first.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't really care enough to dig deep into.
yeah, I don't
this
care.
history,
I don't care that much.
like Jiminy Christmas.
But see, my question, when you guys earlier, you said, hey, you said you were going to tell me where I could get some ammo. Well, I don't think that, I think you might be able to get a good deal from Grandmaster J.
Yeah, Grandmaster J.
What they didn't say is the XR15 Shorty bullpup currently in custody? Did they take the XR? Because that would be part of the evidence of the crime.
Put that in a museum.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, if he had that one.
or put it on Gunbroker. Maybe Gunbroker could get the XR15. And if you want it, if you have that kind of time on your hands, you can go to Reddit, and there's an entire subreddit called My XR15
So
Shorty bullpup rifle.
if you're like brand new to guns and you stumbled upon Student of the Gun Radio and you've never seen this video, or maybe you did see it and you're like, oh, I didn't know guns could do that. If your AR-15 rifle fires when the bolt is sent forward, then it is broken.
Yeah, you need to get rid of that.
Not supposed to do that.
Oh man. Oh. Are you guys with me with the aggravated stupidity? All right, Zach.
You want to talk about some gun shortage giveaways?
Yeah.
How you get some ammo, guns and ammo.
Guns and ammo.
It's called the Gun Shortage Giveaway. Student of the Gun has partnered with Full 30 Talking Lead, and we're celebrating Talking Lead's arrival on Full 30.
All right.
Go subscribe to Talking Lead's channel. Actually, go to SOTGgiveaway.com.
Yep.
It'll give you all the instructions. There's 5 major prize packs there. Every single prize pack includes a gun and ammo to go with the gun.
Sweet Buddha.
A bunch of other stuff in there. But the important thing is that there's a gun shortage and an ammo shortage. Or maybe there's not a shortage, but you can't buy the stuff.
Holy cats and
But we
burger.
can give it to you. Obviously, you state and localized laws, blah, 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 all that stuff. There's details on the giveaway page, but SOTGgiveaway.com. Go there, follow the instructions. I would love to give one of you guys this one of these prizes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. So you're going to get prizes from Glock, Night Vision night sights, Crossbreed holsters, Primary Arms, Ready Man, Student of the Gun. That's us. Geisley, Mission First Tactical, Browning, Sky Firearms, Buck Knives, Modern
Spartan Systems,
Priam, Operator Coffee, and Diamond Leather, just to name a few.
Sky Firearms, they're given.
Smith & Wesson also.
Wesson. Yeah,
Browning.
Yep.
Man, the list is crazy. Zach, would you even go so far to say that it is Cray times 2, that it's Cray squared?
I would say that it is Cray squared, yes.
Yes, it is. So you guys were wondering, you're like, man, Christmas is coming up. Are you guys giving stuff away? Yes, we are. Go to SOTGgiveaway.com and sign up, freaks. And 5 of you freaks are going to have a really, really, really Merry Christmas. So congratulations to you. And if you just want to click away, open the show notes and click boom, and you'll be there.
Yep.
All right, Zach, do we have any specific questions?
No.
All right.
Where does the white go when snow melts?
That's right.
One of
So,
our
Jared,
friends asked
go
that
ahead and
question.
give us a CTA, and we'll
And this is what I want you guys to do.
go.
Join the Discord server, studentofthegun.com/Discord. Open up the show notes. It's down there towards the bottom of the notes. There's a link directly to the Discord server. I want you in there. If you're listening to this right now, it's totally free to join the Discord server. So go do that. studentofthegun.com/Discord.
All right. A cat in the hat, and that be that. We'll be back on Wednesday with a brand new program for you guys. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once.
Student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.